Hey OK crew, and welcome to a bonus video. Today's video is going to be going over a few stretches that I have personally found to be really helpful in reducing low back pain. So low back pain is something very common, a lot of us deal with it, and it can actually be significantly reduced by doing some stretches to help loosen up the muscles that are resulting in that low back pain. So I personally really struggled for low back pain for many years. It really affected my sleep. I would get really uncomfortable, be tossing and turning, would try to sleep with a pillow underneath my back or my legs, just trying anything to reduce the pain and discomfort that I was in. And then the last few months, I found a routine of stretches that when my low back starts to really hurt, I do these stretches and the pain significantly reduces, if not completely reduces. And so I wanted to share these stretches with you. A lot of us are sitting a lot at our desk or just sitting a lot during quarantine, and we don't get up to exercise very often, and so we're leaning and sitting and rounding through the spine. And so you might be feeling some low back discomfort, and hopefully these stretches will be helpful for you. One of the awesome things about these stretches is that you don't have to get up and go anywhere. I often do mine in my bed when I'm getting ready for bed, or just during the workday. If my back starts to bother me a little bit, I will be in my jeans and whatever I'm wearing and get down on the floor and do my stretches. So the awesome thing is you can do it anywhere, in any article of clothing. They are easy to do, and you can make it as quick or as long as you want. So I'm going to run through the exercises quickly. Most of them, if not all of them, we have done in classes before. And so now I'm just compiling them all into one video so that if you're struggling with some low back pain, hopefully this will provide you with some relief. So with that being said, let's get started into these exercises. The first exercise is the very popular cat-cow. So we'll all meet in a tabletop position. And again, make sure that your shoulders are stacked over top of your wrists and your hips over top of your knees. So with cat-cow, we want to, on an inhale, begin to tilt the tailbone up, drop the belly down, the chest rises and opens, and the head comes up last. And then on an exhale, begin to round the tailbone under, pushing up through the low back, pushing the shoulder blades away to protract the shoulders, and then the head comes down last. In cat-cow, you'll just follow your own breath as you go through the movement, maybe rocking front to back or a bit side to side if you find an area that's sticky. So that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is the C-spine stretch or C-spine curve. So again, we're starting in our tabletop position, but this time you're going to draw shoulder to hip. So for example, I'm going to draw my left shoulder and left hip together, squeezing in the left side but opening up the right side of the back. And then switch to the other side. We'll all meet in a seated position. Again, this is a stretch that I like to do in a lot of our classes because I find it really beneficial, and it really opens up the side and the low back. So this is our seated lateral side bend. We'll start with the left hand on the floor by your hip. Right hand, inhale, sweep up and begin to side bend over, really opening up the right side of the body. Keep the chest open here. Make sure not to cave forward. And you can bounce in and out, or you can hold it. And then we'll switch to the other side. So again, this is something that you can take a little bit faster and coming in and out of. So all of these are very modifiable to the amount of time that you have available to stretch. So once we start to warm up the side body, we're going to add on to that position. So starting in that side bend, you'll begin to close off your chest to your knee and sweep down and through as if you're trying to push through sand or water and then coming up the other side. So now we're getting the side body and into the low back. So you can just move through this nice and slow, folding over your legs, trying to draw your chest down to the mat. So again, do that for as many repetitions as you would like. This one feels really good for me, and I found that it has really big effects on how my back is feeling. So I tend to spend a little bit more time on this stretch personally, but again, just follow whatever your body needs. Our next exercise is the 90-90 twist. So this one looks a little funky, so I'm going to be moving around so you can follow along with me. But your front leg will come out, so your hip and knee are at 90, and then your back leg is going to come out again at 90 degrees. So we're looking at a 90-90. Here's another view. Then sitting up nice and tall, begin to twist your torso over your front leg. Once you've twisted as far as you can, again leading with the belly button and not the shoulders, begin to fold over that front leg. So you may be starting up here. I started way up here. When I first started, I found this a very uncomfortable twist, and now it provides so much relief for me. So it might be starting point here, or slowly lowering down all the way. And then hold for as long as you have time for. Come all the way up, untwist, and we'll switch sides. So again, doing that 90-90, turning over your front leg and slowly making your way down. You might notice after holding the stretch for a while that you're able to come a little bit lower. And then we'll move all the way up, come out of the twist, and then you can move your legs. The next stretch is figure four, which is a very popular one in all my classes because it targets the piriformis, which is a big culprit in low back pain. So I find it really important to be stretching that muscle. So we'll all meet on our backs. Your feet will start planted on the floor. And then I'm going to start with my right leg. So my right ankle will cross over my left knee. And this might be a big stretch for some people, and if it is, you can stay here, or to increase the stretch and really get into the left glute, the piriformis. Draw your knee into your chest, wrap your hands around the back of your thigh or the front of your shin. Your top foot, so right now would be my right foot, keep it flexed here, and squeeze your knee into your chest. Make sure that your weight is evenly distributed on both of your sits bones and that you're not rocking from one side to the other. Our body likes to find the path of least resistance, and that will reduce the stretch, and so you won't be getting as much of a benefit out of it. And then when you're ready, you can switch legs. I do recommend holding for at least 30 seconds, but again, if you're in a time crunch, then you can reduce it. From here, lift up your feet so that your knees and hips are again at 90-90 or a reverse tabletop. And we're going to come into another twist, a supine twist. Slowly lower your legs down to one side. Your arms can come out at T or cactus. And then just make sure that both shoulders are firmly on the mat here. If your right shoulder is popping up while your legs are leaning over to the left, then you can place a pillow or a rolled up blanket underneath your shoulder, or you can place your hand on your hip just to reduce any unnecessary stress that you're putting on the muscles of your chest. To increase the stretch, you can point your head or roll your head over to the right, so going opposite to the direction of your knees. When coming out of the twist, with an inhale, draw your gaze back to center and slowly draw your knees back up to center. And then to come into the other side again, slow and controlled, rolling down. The knees are stacked, the hips are stacked. and then just make sure that both shoulders are firmly planted on the ground. So this is our supine twist. Lastly, we'll come into child's pose. So there's two types of child's pose. You can have knees together, or a wide-legged knee position where your knees come mat width apart. And so this is my preferred version of child's pose. But again, play with them and see which one maybe you prefer more, or you're able to get a deeper stretch in your low back. So with child's pose, you walk your hands out nice and long. You can have active hands where you're basically lifting your forearms and your upper arm off the mat to get a really active stretch, or just relax completely into it, into a more passive child's pose. Stay in this front position for a little bit, and then walk your hands over from one side to the other. Slow and controlled, again, taking as much time as you need to get a nice stretch to that side. And you can go back and forth a few times, and then let your head rest on the ground when you're in child's pose so you get a nice deep stretch. Lastly, we'll finish with knees to chest. Again, you can skip this if you want, but it does provide a nice little massage for your low back, and it's a nice way to end off your stretching routine. So lie on your back, hands come over top of knees, drawing them into your chest. You can rock side to side here, or up and down if that feels better. Just to massage out the low back. Those are all the stretches that I like to do when I have low back pain, or to prevent experiencing low back pain again. Again, you can modify these to the amount of time that you have available, maybe picking a few that you find to be the most beneficial, or adding a few that maybe I've missed that you really enjoy and have found to be really helpful in reducing any back pain that you might experience. Again, you can do it anywhere, in any clothing. That's one of the nice things about the stretch routine, is you don't have to be in yoga clothes on your yoga mat. You can just do it anywhere, before bedtime, right as soon as you wake up. Just pick the best time for you, or if you're feeling sore throughout the day, just hop on the floor and get a few of these stretches done to help reduce any pain that you might be feeling. If you do find a difference with this, we'd love to know. So let us know if this was really helpful for you. If maybe you have some tension in other areas of your body that you would love a routine for, we'd love to hear back from you, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.